Good morning and welcome back to another weekly vlog. It is almost 8 o'clock on Monday morning and I just wanted to go ahead and get this vlog kicked off and say hello. I'm about to hop on a call for the weight loss program that I am a part of. It's called No BS. I've mentioned it before. I will leave all the information linked down below if you want to check it out. They did have like a live launch in this past week, but you can actually join at any time if you do the free online course. So I'll leave that link down below if you want some more information. Most of the time I don't actually join the calls live. Most of the time I just listen to the replay. That's one of the things I really love about the program is that they upload all of their calls, the recorded ones, into like a podcast essentially. And so I can just listen to the replay on my phone in my podcast player instead of worrying about like, you know, pulling up the website and logging in and being on my computer and all these things. But this one is like a mindset to kick off the week. It's from 8 to 9 today. And I just felt like that's a good way to kick off the week. Like, let me just hop on that call live. I went ahead and put my workout clothes on. I'm gonna work out during lunch instead. And just, I figured it would be a good way to kick off the week. So that's where I'm headed. All right, it is lunchtime. I'm still in my workout clothes, although I realized that I am taking a dance class later tonight. After I kicked off the vlog, I went and planned my day before the No BS call started and realized that I'm taking a dance class tonight. So I kind of still wanted to do some sort of strength training, like even if it's just like 10 minutes of arms, but I decided I would rather actually spend my lunch time doing something different. So first things first, I'm gonna make myself a smoothie and then we're gonna go run some errands. Errands maybe isn't the right word. I mean, I have to go to the library because I need to pick up a book. So I did mention this on a live, but I just finished the Akata Witch book. Was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I also love like that fantasy genre. And so then I immediately put the next one on hold at the library and it is available for pickup. And it works out because I also have some books to drop off. So I'm gonna go to the library, drop off those books and pick up the next one, which is called Akata Warrior. The person who recommended the Akata Witch book to me did mention that she didn't like Akata Warrior near as much, but on Goodreads, it actually has a better rating. And so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. And then I'm gonna go on the hunt for a place to go rollerblading. I went once, if you saw that vlog, but it was up in our old neighborhood. We were up there for our premarital counseling and I knew that the park up there in that neighborhood had a basketball court that was flat and likely not packed and would be a good place for me to practice for the first time. I need to find something like that here in our current neighborhood. So on foot today, I'm gonna go scope out. I have like 2 different places I'm gonna check to see for like a flat surface. Eventually the goal would be to ride on the streets or the sidewalks or like up and down along the water, but I'm not ready for that yet. So that is what I'm gonna do today during lunch. But first I'm gonna make a smoothie to take with me while I can like eat and walk at the same time. I am struggling because if you watched last week's weekly vlog, actually I don't even think I ever finished updating y'all. We had a freezer issue. I think our freezer didn't end up getting closed all the way when we were out of town in Chicago, so we came back and everything was like thawed out and we had to get rid of all of it, which was a huge bummer. The good news is our freezer is working just fine. Like I think it just got left open because as soon as I took everything out and put the ice cube trays back in, the ice froze right up. So our freezer is back to working, but I haven't been to the grocery store since I determined that it was working. So I do not have any frozen fruit besides bananas because I bought bananas when I went grocery shopping and then froze the ones that were starting to go bad. Normally I add in like frozen pineapple, frozen mango, frozen berries. I have like an assortment of frozen fruit in my freezer usually. And today I don't have any of that. So I think what I'm gonna do is include, there's like a tiny bit of this one left. I'm gonna include one of the Quest shakes instead. Normally I just use almond milk because I'm putting protein powder in there anyway. And so do I really need the protein from this? Although it does give me some extra protein. But for the flavor, really, more than anything. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm debating using a chocolate one. I don't have the chocolate in the fridge right now, so it would not be cold. But what I could do is put some ice. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use the caramel. I'm gonna grab the chocolate. I don't know if I'm gonna use the whole thing or just some of it. And then I'm gonna grab some ice. And then I'm also gonna grab spinach, the frozen bananas, and what else? What am I forgetting? Oh, the protein powder. That might be helpful. I've mentioned this a number of times, so you're probably familiar with it, but I use the No Bull protein powder from, I just got mine on Amazon. The last time I actually ordered a much bigger one than this, and it doesn't fit where I like to keep my protein powder, so I just kept the empty small one, and I've just been filling it up and keeping the big one like tucked back in our pantry. And then I'm also gonna throw in some flaxseed, some organic flaxseed, and then I might throw in a little bit of cocoa powder. It kind of depends on how much chocolate flavor this Quest gives me. I remember it not being super strong on its own, so I am going to put this in first. I'm gonna make it without the cocoa powder, give it a taste, see how it is, and then if I need to add the cocoa powder, I will. Okay, so I just tasted it. You know, it is, I only used about half of the Quest protein shake because I've struggled recently with making these shakes that are like massive, and then I don't actually want to drink all of that. But anyway, it is not super chocolatey at all, but it just mostly tastes like banana, and I kind of like that flavor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at that. It basically fills up exactly one of these. I also really like the consistency of how this turned out. It's like fluffy, and it's liquidy, but not super liquidy. I don't always love when they're super thick, because then it is also hard to drink. I just really love the consistency, and the flavor's good. A slight hint of chocolate, but mostly just banana. Cheers. Okay, so here's the first option. It's definitely, I think, gonna be the smaller of the two, but it's really empty right now. I mean, obviously it's the middle of the day on a Monday, and I do hopefully wanna find something I can use on the weekends, but we'll find out. So it looks like over there on that side, I don't wanna get somebody else on camera who's here, it's like just a concrete, it looks like it's set up for basketball, but there's no hoops, but it's got like drawings. Actually, those don't look like basketball. It looks more like tennis or something. Drawings, and then it kind of switches to more of an asphalt, but still flat. Like, right, versus over here, where there is some space, it is all brick. So definitely an option, a little bit smaller than I kind of want, but in the neighborhood, so super convenient. Okay, I just kind of stumbled on this secret option. We'll just call it like secret option number 3. It is this like in between, like big giant sidewalk that's basically in between 2 blocks. It is just like a sidewalk, so it is smooth until there are cracks. I mean, it's got a decent number of people walking back and forth, but I feel like it could still be an option. It is, however, uphill, which means downhill would be nice and easy, although I have to learn how to slow down better. Uphill would be really tough, but if I really wanted to do it as a good workout, this might be a good spot. Although now that I'm watching, there are a lot of people walking back and forth, and it is the middle of the day on a Monday. But we're also by a lot of offices, so I think that might be part of it as well. And maybe if on the weekends, maybe there's actually less people around here. Okay, so here is option 2. It is a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger than that other space. Obviously it's being used right now, so on the weekends it might not be good. I mean, I could go over there and kind of go up against the fence and stay out of these guys' ways, but it might not be ideal. I think the ground is probably the best of any of the options I saw, but in terms of like emptiness, it might not be the best option, unless I just might have to find some random times to come practice until I'm comfortable being on like in the bike lane and stuff. But definitely an option. Honestly, what I'll probably do is come here first, and then if it's packed, like if there's not space for me, then I will go to one of the other spots that I just showed you. But I feel good. This was a good excursion, good making progress on the goal of rollerblading every single week. Hello, it is Tuesday and I am at the office today. So I mentioned this in a few places, but our company is having everyone go back starting in the fall. Originally it was September, now it's October, but they are planning on a 3-2 schedule. So Mondays and Fridays at home, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the office. And so I am going in voluntarily. Right now it's a volunteer only basis. Because I live within walking distance of the office, it's really easy, and so I am like kind of easing my way into it. I started out in July going 1 day a week. Now I am going to 2 days a week. So I'm going in Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just gonna stick with that schedule until they make me go in 3 days a week. Right now, Wednesdays will be tough because Lattes with Laken is on Wednesdays, and so I'm gonna stick with my Tuesday, Thursday schedule. Right now it is lunchtime, and I am going to the post office. I got a bag here. I'm running, oh, there's still a tag on my bag from Max. I'm running to the post office. I did a giveaway to celebrate 1 year on Patreon, and so I am dropping off the giveaway prizes in the mail today. Hi, it is Wednesday. It is lunchtime on Wednesday, and I'm about to put some chicken in the crock pot. I thought I would tell you what I was doing and what was going through my head. So when I originally bought this chicken, if you watched last week's vlog, I showed a grocery haul that I had done for 10 days. And it's just over 2 pounds of chicken, because the least expensive chicken option at Trader Joe's, this is like the smallest amount that I can get it in. So what I used to do, first off, it's Wednesday, and I pretty much always do a Crockpot meal on Wednesdays. Just makes things easier with lattes with Laken. And so my plan was I was gonna use half the chicken for a Crockpot meal tonight, and then I was gonna use half the chicken for chicken salad. We also really like chicken salad. But I had some dental work done yesterday, and my mouth is still very, very sore. And so I still am struggling to really like chew things today. I've just been trying to eat soft foods. I had some over easy eggs, and then I had some yogurt, and I think I'm just gonna have a smoothie for dinner. Like, I'm just trying to keep things easy. So what I'm gonna do instead, because this chicken is going to go bad if I do not cook it, is I'm gonna just stick this chicken in the crock pot. And all I literally am gonna do is stick it in there with some salt and pepper and some chicken broth, and just to get it cooked and then shred it. That's my favorite way to cook chicken. I mean, chicken can be delicious, and I feel like I make a delicious baked chicken, but it is so much easier to make sure that I don't overcook it and it's cooked all the way through when I cook it in the crock pot and just shred it. So I'm gonna cook both sets, and then I'm gonna split it in half, and then I think I'm still gonna go ahead and make the chicken salad for Sam, and then for me to have for lunches later in the week. And then I'm gonna freeze the other half of the shredded chicken for that crock pot meal next week, because all the other ingredients for that crock pot meal are canned and in the pantry, and so none of the rest of that's gonna go bad. So if I just shred the chicken and freeze it, then next week when I want to make a crock pot meal, I will just pop that frozen shredded chicken in the crock pot with all the other canned things, and all of the other, some of the ingredients are in the fridge, but it's things that we use for other things, like half and half, and shredded cheese. Like, I just always have those in the fridge, so I'm not concerned about those going bad. So that is my plan. I'm just gonna get this chicken in the crock pot. I realized I'm talking and I need to wash my hands because raw chicken. All right, the other thing I'm gonna do during lunch today is I'm gonna sit down and do some future planning for the rest of the year. Really, I'm gonna map out kind of the rest of the year. I got audition results this morning. So if you watched last week's weekly vlog, I also talked about auditions for a dance company here in the city, and the results were posted this morning, and I made 4 dances, which is the max number of dances that you can be in, is up to 4. I'm in 2 hip hop and 2 tap, which is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have to rehearse past 9 o'clock, because there are some dances that rehearse from 9 to 10, and as much as I loved some of those dances, that's way past my bedtime. It's already gonna be past my bedtime getting home at like 9:30, 9:45, 2 days a week, but that's what I wanted. I wanted to do 7 to 9, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 tap, 2 hip hop, and I'm so excited. So now I get to kind of plan around that. So planning out when I'm gonna do certain routines and trying to figure out, I think I'm gonna cut my morning routine and cut reading out of my morning routine, because I am gonna be able to read on the train to and from rehearsal, and I need that extra time in the morning. Well, really, I'm gonna need the extra time at night. And then in order to get the right amount of sleep, I'm gonna need to cut that on my morning. So I will share that next week when we actually start implementing some of that, but that's what I'm thinking. I also need to plan out when all the Accelerate Your Goals calls are gonna be. So I am teaching Accelerate Your Goals live for the last time in September, and now that I have a rehearsal schedule, I can map the Accelerate Your Goals classes around that. I'm already planning to do some Saturday calls. That is what I was thinking if I did get rehearsals on both Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I am gonna do some Saturdays. I know that some of you have been asking me that for a while, and I'm just really excited to be able to offer that. So that's what I'm gonna do during lunch. I think I'm gonna make, I've already had 2 cups of coffee today. Maybe it's a cup of tea. I really want another cup of coffee. But like sit down with a cup of coffee and really my Google Cal. I almost have my planner. It's my laptop, my Google Cal. No, I think I might have a 3rd cup of coffee. Yep, I'm gonna have another cup of coffee. Hi, I just got done with lattes with Laken with the live. As I was talking, I realized something, that there is a habit that I used to do, something I used to do that I used to be really consistent with, that really helped me achieve my goals, that I have not been doing lately. And when the light bulb clicked, I was like, that is impacting my goal progress. And that is actually putting my goals from my power sheets. Oh, look who finally woke up from the corner. Hi. It's like she knew I was done going live. Also, the air conditioning. Oh, I was so hot while I was talking. Anyways, it is actually taking the things from my power sheets and putting them in my Google Cal. I used to be so good about this. Hi, sweet girl. I would literally, as soon as I was done with my power sheets, I would take everything from this list and put it into my Google Cal. And even if I had to move it from week to week, at least it was there. And I was looking at my power sheets earlier today, and you can see I did none of my weekly things last week. And I was kind of wondering, like, why, what's going on? And then as I was answering a question on live today, it finally hit me. You have not been putting them in your calendar. You have not been actually scheduling time to work on them. And as things are starting to get a little bit chaotic, I also booked 2 train tickets today because we have 2 weddings in Baltimore in the fall for Sam's cousins. There's just a lot going on right now. And I was like, if I don't get them scheduled, these things aren't going to happen. So that is what I'm gonna do right now because Sam's on a call, so I'm not in a rush to like make dinner. Usually as soon as the live is over, I'm like, get to the food. I am going to put all of my August things into my Google Cal. I am really gonna miss when it's not light out at this time and I have to like pull out the lights to vlog. I'm loving just having all of the natural light. Anyway, hi, it's Thursday. It's Thursday evening. I went into the office today, and then after work I actually went to a happy hour with a couple of my coworkers that are also coming into the office. It was so good to see some of them. It's funny, there's 2 guys that I work with. One who, he was like, oh yeah, my son just turned 2. And I was like, no, your son is still a newborn. And then there's one who has a 15-month-old who I'm like, no, you don't have a kid. Because when last time I saw you in person, like, you didn't have a baby yet. And it's just super weird place to be. Anyways, I just had water at the happy hour because I came home and now I am participating in our Patreon monthly co-working. One of my favorite nights every month where we all hop on Zoom together and we work on something related to our goals. I typically work on my one little word project during our co-working calls, but I'm switching it up this month and trying something new, and I'm gonna work on my memory keeping. So if you have been around, one of the things that I am trying to do is use my Moxie Life Planner for weekly memory keeping. So I'm using weekly kits and printing out pictures and using it for memory keeping. Well, I am very behind. Like, I haven't done a week in a very long time. I talked in last week's weekly vlog how I did 1 week in July, but tonight I'm gonna go back and work on February and March. So before I left for Chicago, actually, I think it was even before my brother came to visit, I got all those photos printed the last week of February and all of March. And I had them all laid out on my desk, and like I cut them up and I organized them by the day of the week, and then I was like, how are you gonna do this? Like, you have it all organized, but you can't work on it right now, and you can't just let it sit on your desk for 3 weeks until after you get back from Chicago. So I texted a friend who is always very creative but also like very logical and comes up with the best solutions to these kinds of things. And what she said, which was the best answer, was to stick them in a notebook. So I took this really old Erin Condren notebook that I have, and basically I stuck each day, actually this might be the front, let's not mess this up. So each page is a day, and so I'm gonna pull out, you know, Monday through Sunday of the first week and go from there. And I just like let this sit on my shelves for the last couple of weeks. But it was so smart, like just such a great idea. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna work on tonight while I'm hanging out with them. I'm gonna keep watching Bones. I don't know if I mentioned that yet this week, that I started binge watching Bones again from the beginning. I just love that show. It felt like the right show to watch after binge watching New Girl, to just go from Zooey Deschanel to Emily Deschanel. So that is what I'm gonna do, watch Bones and work on my memory keeping. Okay, so this is definitely gonna be more difficult than I thought, which is why last week I started with a recent week because I knew it would be easier. So here is the last week of February. For the weekdays, I have like 1 or 2 pictures. Actually, it looks like I have 3 for Friday. And then here's Saturday, and then 1 on Sunday. Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I had a speaking engagement, virtual Friday, and then I remember our friends coming over and Sam cooking at his walk on Saturday, and I remember why I was walking and what I got that coffee for Sunday. So that I can journal a little bit more. I'm gonna struggle with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. I did grab my daily planner that I was using at the time, and so hopefully this might jog my memory a little bit and I'll be able to pull some things from there. And then I also went ahead and picked out a kit. I originally had slated all of my kits for certain weeks during the year, and I did that back in December. I actually filmed a video of it. I will link that if you didn't catch that video. I regret it for 2 reasons. 1, because I got off of schedule, but 2, except for things like holidays, I kind of want to pick the kit based on what that week went like. Like, the reason I'm picking this kit is because it's got a lot of extra photo ones. It's got these kind of like half, oh wait, these are not half. These are like itty bitty strips. Oh, okay, well that doesn't quite help me. But anyways, I want to pick the kit based on what that week was like. Look at that cute puppy. Kind of looks like a Vizsla, right? That's my family's dog down in Texas. They have a Vizsla. That's what it looks like, a Vizsla. Anyways, I'm getting distracted by the stickers. So I think for next year, if I do the same thing next year, which I have not decided yet, I will make sure I have the right number of kits so that I don't overbuy kits, but I will not plan out which kit will be which week, and I'll just pick it as I go along. Okay, I like how it turned out. I did feel like I had to stretch some things a little bit because I didn't have as much information. Some days I was really good. Like this day, I had a quote that I took and copied, and I put things in the memories. Now, some of the things I put in the memories, I don't remember what that means. Like text breakthrough, I have no idea what that means. Obviously, when the goal is to do this right after the week, I should be able to remember what I meant by those things. But since I'm doing it like 5 months later, I don't honestly remember what it said. So given how delayed I'm doing this, I feel pretty good about how it turned out. And it took me about 30-ish, 35 minutes. It's about 7:40 now, but I take a couple minutes to kick off the call, and then I also check in every half hour, so there was a couple minutes there too at 7:30, and it's 7:40 now. So our co-working sessions go till 8:30, so I should hopefully be able to get through at least one more week, and that's my weekly goal. My weekly goal is to do the current week, which would be last week, and I still haven't printed out those pictures yet, but it's Thursday, I still have time. And even if I don't get to it, that's okay. But my goal for past weeks is to do 2 weeks each week. I just said week a lot. So if I can get this second week done right now, then I will feel really good about that. So I'm trying to pick a kit for this second one, and I'm struggling because a lot of the kits that I have are gonna require a little bit more creativity. This one's not a good example, but like this one, it's only 2 small pieces, and so if I need to fill out the whole page, I'm gonna need to grab from my sticker stash. And while I'm excited about that idea, and sometimes I do want to sit down and be creative, right now while I'm trying to play catch up, I really do, like, I would prefer kits that have like the full thing built out, but some of them are for specific weeks. So I'm still trying to, I was planning on doing a week with just Cultivate What Matters stickers. These are clearly Halloween stickers. I'm kind of getting into the fall, and now I think they're all pretty much fall stickers. That's why I plan by month, so I don't end up with like a million fall stickers and none of other stuff. It also seems like a lot of the sticker kits I bought for this year are all kind of like this book theme, where I just saw one, oh, maybe it was in this one. I just saw another one that was like a book themed sticker kit, and I was like, well, I feel like, the love one I had for our anniversary, there's another book one. So I don't know. I feel like I just did a book one, but I also feel like, and there's also this cat one. Maybe I'll do this one that has a lot of the stickers, so I don't have to really go digging into my washi or my sticker stash. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. All right, so I did a little bit of cleanup in this corner of my office, and it started with my stickers. So after doing those 2 weeks last night, I realized that I have way more stickers than I will ever use in like my lifetime, it feels like, but really before they go bad and they become unusable. And so I sort of trimmed down my sticker collection a little bit and got rid of some stickers that have gone bad. I have a pile that I'm gonna donate. I just have like, I just needed to clean it up a little bit. So I made it work for one shelf. There are 2 sticker books that are in this bag right here that are like all the, like a sticker book of all the extra page protectors, and then the 2021, I think it's 2021, I can't remember, one of the Christian Design Celebrations collections that I haven't even touched yet, that I want. I think it is the 2021 one. Anyways, I've stored both of those in that bag, along with extra pens, and then the notepads that I've been using, the weekly ones when I'm not filling out a new page that I'm gonna rip off. That is all in that bag. And then I just have 1 row of sticker books, which if you watch my office tour works out really well, because when the sticker books were on the bottom shelf, Charlie could get them out and was chewing on the plastic. And so by only having the top row, my stickers are completely safe. And then what I was able to do was put some of my memory keeping stuff on this bottom shelf, the stuff that I grab regularly when I'm memory keeping. So instead of having that roller cart over here in the corner that I used to have with all my memory keeping stuff, I have some of it here on this shelf that I can easily turn around and grab when I'm working on stuff at my desk. And then the rest of it I just went ahead and put in my closet because it's stuff that I will just grab when I am working on something very specific. So that worked out really well. I was able to get rid of the rolly cart in this corner, and so I went ahead and put my filming stuff here instead of putting it under the desk. It just always felt like crowded and cluttered when I had the filming stuff like where my feet belong. And then you're probably wondering, well, what happened to your morning routine bag that used to be on top? Also, I love the way this ambitious bag looks here, and I love looking at it and just seeing the word all the time. It just reminds me to be ambitious. I don't know, I just love it. Anyways, now my morning routine is over here in the corner. I had another bag of stuff that I kind of cleaned through and either like got rid of or donated that was taking up space down here. And then I also have this bag of wedding stuff, which is gonna stay here for now. It has like the wedding planners that I haven't touched and all my wedding magazines. Obviously, eventually that will go away when I'm done planning a wedding, but it's fine there for now. Still having a cord issue. Again, if you watch the office tour, it's just an issue I'm having. I know some of you sent me some solutions. I haven't implemented any of them yet. So right now I just have 3 cords. I have my phone slash, you know, headphone, iPad, Apple charger. I have my watch charger, and then I have a USB, a mini USB that I use for my Kindle and my external charger. All right, we are headed to dinner. Are you walking faster because you don't want to be in it? With one of Sam's friends from high school and her new boyfriend. Can I still say that it's new? I feel like they've been together for a while now, but I have not met him yet. Sam has met him. But he also went to their high school, but was a couple years older than them. So that's exciting. I'm excited to meet him, excited to see her. Also, I almost said more excited, I don't know, might be more excited to go to the restaurant that we're going to, which she suggested. It is called the Yellow Rose, and it's actually owned by a Texan, and it's tacos, I think. Did you look at the menu? No, I didn't either. But I do know that it's owned by a Texan. It's called the Yellow Rose. So I'm excited to check it out. Good morning, it is Saturday, and I have 0 plans today. Besides the dinner we had last night, we have no plans for the rest of the weekend, which is so nice. Of course, I made a massive to-do list of things that I'd like to get done this weekend. It's a combination of some household things, a lot of Plan with Laken things, and then just some like, you know, random personal goal related things. So I thought I would kick off today by going to a coffee shop to get a lot of those things done. And first off, it's very hot out here, and I wore like leggings thinking that, well, if I'm gonna be sitting inside of a cold coffee shop, I'm gonna want pants. That was a bad idea. So I went to the first coffee shop. They had no tables available, and so I was like, all right, I'll try a different one. So I went to the next coffee shop. They had lots of tables available with outlets. I was like, it's gonna be great. So I ordered my coffee, went and sat down, and the tables are like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It's a bench, and the tables are bolted into the ground. So there's no way for you to get closer to the table. And so when I'm working on my computer, like if I was just like chatting with a friend or reading a book, like that wouldn't bother me at all. But when I am working on my computer, it's annoying. Like I want my computer to be much closer to me. That combined with the fact that it was actually very warm in the coffee shop. Like I don't know if they just didn't have the air conditioning up that high, or just because so many people are opening and closing the door to come in and out. So I didn't actually last very long, and me and my coffee are headed home. I think I used to really value more going to a coffee shop as a way to get out of my apartment, to have a space that was dedicated for working. Now that I have an office, I don't know that it's necessary as much. So I think that being back in my own space where I can scoot all the way up to my desk and blast the AC is gonna be much more productive. Well, now I'm really glad I came home because there was a box waiting for me. So I showed the Amplify planner back in December, and I used it for all of the first quarter, but just for work. And when I used it for work in the first quarter, it was too much. It was too big, too much space. It was not what I needed for work. So I kind of like wrote it off, and I've been trying other things for work. Well, if you watch my most recent plan with me, and like a couple of vlogs ago, I've talked about how I've been using a hourly like notepad type product for my daily planning. I bounce kind of between the Cultivate What Matters one and the Ink and Volt one, and I love them both for different reasons. And I do think I prefer the Ink and Volt one because it has the half-hour time slots. But what I really do miss is having a planner with a coil, a dated planner with a coil that encourages me to use it every single day. And so I've been thinking about this all week, and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and Amplify Planner puts their Q2 planners on sale, which makes sense because it's already like halfway through August. And one of the colors of their Q2 planner, or Q3, sorry, planner is like
the perfect pink for me. So I ordered it. I was like, you know what? It was too big when I was just using it for work, but if I'm also using it for personal and for playing with Laken, and it's on sale, and it's the perfect pink. Like if I ever get photos taken again, this is the perfect planner for me to include in photos because it's literally the perfect pink, and it's very simple. Like the cover design is very simple. So I am really excited to jump back into this. I might go ahead and use it today because it is dated. It's dated July through September of 2021. So obviously, like, I'm not gonna go back and plan in July, but I do have these pages if I ever want to go back and use them for something, or you know, if I we'll see how it goes. I was texting with a friend when I was ordering it, and I asked her, I said, shipping's pretty expensive, should I go ahead and order Q4 while I'm already paying for shipping? And she was like, no, because what if you don't like it and you don't use it? Like, I'd rather pay shipping twice than have a planner that I'm not gonna use. And her logic is very sound. So this is what the layout looks like. It's got the date at the top. On the left, it's got all of the hours. It goes from 5 to 11, which again, when I was using this for work, that was just too much and I didn't need that. But now that I'm using it for like just regular life, I definitely still don't need 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., but I like the flexibility of that. And then I'm not really sure what you're supposed to use this little gray box for at the top, but you've got a space for today's priorities, work tasks, personal tasks, daily habits, which I will probably use for routines. I'll probably put like AM, lunch, PM, communication, PM routines. And then it's got these 4 little boxes, and then it's got dot grid space at the bottom. I don't know what I'm gonna use any of this extra space for just yet, but for now, I'm excited to have all of the hours broken down, a date, a coil, a silver coil, and they do have nice paper quality. So I'm excited to be back in the dated planner. One thing I know I can check off my list is I wanted to make sure that I mentioned on the vlog that I just can't believe it's already August 15th, 14th. Today is the 14th, tomorrow's 15th. But it is almost time to sign up for the next live, the last live round of Accelerate Your Goals, which is the online course that I created to help you break through all of the major goal roadblocks. It does not help you break through kitties that get in the shot. Anyways, so the date of this video goes live, August 20th. The link will be available for patrons. So if you're a member of the Patreon community, make sure you check out that link because there's a discount associated with that link. And then for everyone else, the link will go live on a Monday, August 23rd. I will post it here on YouTube in the community tab, which should show up in your feed if you're subscribed. And then I will also share it on Instagram. If you have any questions whatsoever and want to figure out if Accelerate Your Goals is the right fit for you, please don't hesitate to send me a message on Instagram, send me an email, and I'm happy to chat about it. I'll go ahead and pop up the schedule here that I finally finalized. That feels redundant, but I figured out the dates for all of the live sessions for the September live course. We are sort of going about this a little bit differently than we have in the past, and we're focusing on it as a challenge. So before the course even starts, you'll get a video explaining a little bit more about what that entails, but you'll pick a goal that you want to focus on and a habit associated with that goal, and you'll get a little check mark, a thing that you can check off for 30 days in September. You're going to do that habit for 30 days. Figuring out how to make that habit work for you will be part of our first session, along with the normal first session, which is mindset. But I just wanted to add a little bit of something extra to this last live round that was different than the prior rounds. Also because if you missed this on Instagram, I am inviting anybody who's done it before to come join us again for free. So if you were part of round 1 or 2 of Accelerate Your Goals, make sure you check your email. If you did not get the email, reach out to me to sign up to be a part of this round and the challenge, and you can join live and get all the replays and all of those good things. So I think that's everything I have to say. All right, I thought my camera was on while I was putting all the ingredients in, but turns out it wasn't. It's okay. The recipe is very easy. I will link it below. This is one of our favorite go-to Crockpot meals. It's beef and broccoli. So you put in, we just buy like the chunk sirloin from Trader Joe's with all the other ingredients, and it simmers on low for like 3 to 4 hours. And then at the end, you add in some cornstarch and some broccoli. The cornstarch thicken up the sauce, and then some broccoli. I use just the frozen broccoli from Trader Joe's, and then I serve it over a combination of regular rice and cauliflower rice. This also just makes really great leftovers, so we're gonna have it for dinner tonight, and then we will have it as leftovers for lunch the rest of the week. It's been a while since we've been home on a Sunday during the day, so I'm excited to just have this sitting so we have a nice homemade meal for tonight. And yes, I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing yesterday. Does anybody else do that? I put it on yesterday after I took a shower, and then I left the apartment for all of 30 minutes to go to that coffee shop, and then I never left again. And so it felt weird to like put on pajamas last night before bed, so I just slept in the shirt and then
am wearing it now, and it's about 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. I don't care. I'm still debating whether I'm gonna try and go out rollerblading today. Either way, I'll take a shower, but that's why I haven't showered yet, because I might go rollerblading this afternoon and then shower after that. Hi, Charlie. It's still really hot in New York. We've been having like a really intense heat wave the last week or so. Like feels like over 100 with the humidity and the actual heat index. So I don't know. It just might not happen this week, and that's okay. I've been doing a lot of work just sitting on the couch. I came out here, I put Bones on the big TV, and then I've just been sitting here with, I talked about this lap pad in a favorites video a long time ago, but I love this thing. Sitting here with my laptop and just powering through a bunch of stuff for one-on-one coaching, stuff for the next round of Accelerate Your Goals, just all kinds of stuff. It feels good to like get on top of things this weekend. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vlog here. I know I've shared a lot of random things this week. I'm not exactly quite sure how long it is. Normally my editor Amanda, who's the best, will keep me updated throughout the week how long the vlog is, but she's out of town right now, so I have no idea. So it could be a lot. Who knows? We'll find out next week when she gets back and this gets edited. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. It is not about, it is almost, I just love. And then I was going to, what? I have Visco, and I do think I prefer